it has to come from an essentiality of something real. You find there is a connection of realness to it, and that's what's visceral. Yeah, so
Mm.
thanks more, for having me in your mix and your project. That's cool.
Oh yeah, it's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure. Like,
Yeah,
the times we chopped it up, I'm like, yo, that man is for real about his stuff. You know what I
oh
mean? And
yeah.
that's one of the reasons why I started the show, just to get like
Mm-hmm.
those inspirational, motivational people.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we don't really know as artists how motivational we can be to others.
Right, that's true.
Because I got a lot of good friends and stuff. You know how you got good friends, they might not be into the creativity, but they
Mm-hmm.
great at what they do.
Yeah,
So be like, yo, you could try. Be like, no, I'm not creative. So I
yeah.
always go back and forth. Like,
That's fun,
some
interesting.
people
Mm-hmm.
think they're not creative, but
Mm-hmm.
I beg to differ. I think we all creative. It's just like what you give attention to.
That's true.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's very true. It's lauding these things, but yeah, yeah, man.
Yeah. So we can get it cracked off right now.
Yeah, man.
Hey, yo, welcome to the show, everybody. It's your boy, the Silk Sensation. I want to welcome a very special guest, Michel. Thank you for coming to the show, man. Thank you for
Yeah,
being here, brother.
it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure, Silk.
No,
It's my pleasure.
no
Yeah.
doubt, no doubt. So, Michel is a well-traveled artist. You've been a lot of places. You moved to Chicago from. Tell the people like your rundown. You can tell it better than I
Yeah,
do.
yeah. Traveling always been part of my journey. So before Chicago, I was in Philadelphia.
Mm.
So I spent about 4 years in Philly, and then I always wanted to come to Chicago. Just had to find the right synergy to be
Mm.
here. So I was traveling. I would come between show. I would spend some time and I bounce. But yeah, it's been like that for me. And then I find the right situation, and then I end up in this building with some nice variety.
Right, with some nice variety of different
yeah,
artists.
yeah, yeah.
How did you find out about this?
Actually, I had started a project in early many years ago, and it's funny. I started this project was the gum art experience because over the year I traveled in a lot of different places. So I always photograph a gum spot on the floor.
Oh, word.
Yeah, so I have some from Europe, I have from Africa, I have from some all different states that I've been in.
Mm.
So it's funny. That is where the project really ignited me. It was in the corner of 35th and Racine.
Wow.
I was staying a few blocks away. A friend let me use his studio. I was on my way to work. I was so down. Boom, that idea just ignited. So that's where I start the project, the gum art experience. So take this gum art from the flow, blow them up, and then try to create a work. So that stuff had led to a very good Kickstarter, and
Mm.
then it kind of evolved from there.
Oh yeah. So you mean like just
Yeah,
gum from the?
yeah, like people, they we chew gums, right? And then we split them out.
Right.
So different neighborhood has much more of that chaos. For me, creatively was better because you have more choices,
Ah.
So
Right.
yeah.
People spit their gum out board.
Oh yeah, they chew it, they throw it out, and then in the summer or when it gets hot, people step on it. You
Mm.
ever see people get stuck with gum?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hate when that
I
happens.
know we all do. We all do. And so that metaphor start morphing into other things,
Mm.
So then I knew I was up to something really cool, and so the project took off. I had committed to do 54 painting of that, and then we launched one Kickstarter. 4 days later, it was maxed out. I was able to get the money now to take the project to totally different sphere.
Damn.
So that was really what I liked about it. It touched creativity, the environment, our behavior, and then how much of us are just walking around this planet totally nervous all the time, with chew gum. I had to study how gum is made. Unfortunately, I would tell you these things because we chew plastic. It's made with plastic.
What?
Yeah, plastic, chemical, sugar, and then we have it in our purse. We have it in our car.
Right.
It's in a bubble gum machine. The kids,
Right.
yeah. So that evolution of that, I really enjoy it because it takes me to so many places. Yeah.
So just researching, like
Yeah,
the researching as an artist, that's like a whole different type of research in a way.
Yeah. That was a really an elevation that never been done in the art world, and so that leads to a very large exhibit, an installation inside the Philadelphia airport.
Okay.
And it stays in that terminal for about 6 months. A lot of people had started knowing about my work. They never see something like that.
From that.
Yeah.
Dang.
So
Okay.
that was one of the projects I worked the hardest for 4 years. I tell you, my brain was maxed out. But it was an incredible journey. So I still have a lot left in there. I got to take a break because mentally it takes a lot of effort.
Right.
So
is that like is that what brought you? So that was in Philly.
I was living in Philly, but I was traveling. So the project where they ignited was in a corner in this block in Chicago.
Right. It just brought you here.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was just like, so everything came in circle. I had some really bad show one after the other. I was just like, completely collapsing inside, and so what happened, I think that's where we are the most sharp and creatively.
Oh yeah.
When you go to your, to your complex, to your struggle.
Some of the down times in the gutter.
Yeah.
Right.
That's definitely that. So, you get the blessing in the process, and then I'm very happy. People that supported the project, people that known, so like that.
Right. That's dope. It's dope. That's one thing I love about creativity. You know what I'm saying? I always like to point out some of the things that creativity brings, because I'm like huge on just being creative. Like my thing is music. Everybody knows that. Everybody know that. But as my growth comes, that's why I want to do this show, because like this is not just it's not only a gift, but it's like an opportunity to explore. You know what I'm saying? Like you described like how that, like, who can say, like, what's the chance of like something like chewing gum
I know.
will bring you out the, you know what I'm saying, out the downtime in your life or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's almost unexplainable, but I think that's why us as artists is good to kind of make sense of those type of things.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I think it's like you're saying, seizing the opportunity. Seizing the opportunity mean like you have to be attentive. Right. You have to get to know the self, because that's what ignites those encounters. And then if you manage to be in tune with that, like an instrument, then you don't have to look around and worry about the music you're making. It feels good to you.
Right.
So it goes for, sometimes you end up making a lot of crap.
Right.
And sometimes you just, but that process, as a human, you have to stay with it. It's very important for me.
Yeah. No, I definitely relate to that, especially when you like getting familiar, getting in tune with the self.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so when you say that, because I got a lot of ideas about like self and mind and body.
Oh, I like it.
What is like, what do you mean by that? Like the self?
The self, yeah. I think our psyche have its own autonomy, and how it's tried to evolve. It doesn't have to check with me. You know, that's our psyche. And when you are really relying to that source, you know, it doesn't have nothing to do, with your complex, with your economic, with your race, with all of that is operating is totally different server.
It's a totally different server.
Yeah.
Right.
So a lot of us, for me, that was something I always, since I was 14, I was always curious about. I was curious to who am I? What am I doing here? What is the purpose of being here? What am I doing in this culture? Who I am. I come from a mixed parents. And then what is this? So I had so much question and nobody was able to answer those things. So that's what art starting coming. So to go back to the psyche, when we're not in tune with that, because our ego self takes so much space, in a lot of ways, in a minute way, and a very grandiose way, even in our downtime, you lose this tune for that. And when you lose this tune for that, you don't have access to what we're talking about: creativity, spirituality, self-worth, self-healing, the body, the mind, all of these things you carry, and then you're not in touch with what drives the spirit of that.
Right, what drives the spirit, man. That's real, man. That definitely resonates.
If that makes, if you can.
No, I definitely catch it because I've been personally. That's been a journey myself.
For sure. And then that accountability, has to come from the decision making to the person, but then you have to wait it out to, your insecurity, your fear, to not be like, you want to do this like just for money. So you got to sort it out to all of these things.
Right.
So what the mind have tendency to tell you, oh, you're not creative. So what is going to start sending you is to copy someone, do what something is already been done. That's the safe path. And then, then you have to answer to the demand of the economic that you're trying to. I think when it comes from, the psyche, it evolve. It grows within you. I think it's just like it's a growing elevation. So you're not too consumed by, what the world will think of what you do. If this is good or bad, and I can tell you a little bit more about it. For me, the encounterment that I had with those people who just make it so damn real for me. Sorry to be, they make it very real. And I tell you honestly, I had never, and I probably would never meet any art form or a piece of masterwork in that environment that I grew up with.
Oh, that you grew up in?
Yeah.
Because you grew up in, where did you grow up?
In Senegal.
In
Senegal it's in the west coast.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Of the continent. I grew up there. I was born there. And so that's where everything kind of started. Actually, if you look at the map of that place, the Gorée Island. I spent about 7 years in that island. That's where they were storing all the slave.
The Gorée Island? Okay.
Yeah, it's very popular. And then I spent a lot of my youth time there, in that island. So that was my backyard kind of.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So it was a huge effect on the community and the vibe, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, the museum's still there, the artifact, everything's still there. I will pass by this museum every day. Yeah. And then just to like synergize with what was there. So Dakar was the capital. It is the capital. It's more known for the Gorée Island.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So the native, you growing up there in
Hmm.
the community that you grew up in, they knew that that was
Oh yeah, yeah. But there's a different emphasis of this connection that we have with that particular place.
okay.
You know,
Oh, it's a different emphasis.
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, coming now on this part of the world, for me, being in the state and seeing my brother and other African Americans, you know,
Hmm.
from this culture, the way that we understand these things, it was totally different.
Mm.
Because over there, uh, you know, we're passing through this history, but we're not so we're not so clinging on that.
Okay.
It's just a
Okay.
part of these things.
It's just a part of what happened.
Yeah,
Like,
but highly educated of how all these things was constructed, how it was made, and so we take it to a different form. When I came here, the people like me had experienced it in a different way. You
and
know.
you notice that, like,
Oh
oh,
yeah, it was a big discourse, but same pain.
right,
I think so.
right.
We kind of heal from our pain, and with the different choices we made. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's super interesting right
yeah.
there.
So I think so that was you know, to go back to that place and I was born. I grew up. My dad, my mom, they're all from there.
Uh-huh.
I'm from, you know, a mixed race. So all my tribes are there. You know, so that was one of the greatest environment. Very intense in every level.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
yeah, every level. You know, so emotionally, spiritually, resource wise. But there is something really beautiful about this place. It's warmth, not warmth like the climate, warmth from the heart.
Right,
So
right. Just that.
there is a generic of love was constantly there. You don't have to think about love because you're in it.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
how people share, how people eat, how we fight, but we hug, we moving on.
Mm.
So the warmth there was really like, I think that's what allowed people to interact with each other
Okay.
and all kind of different level.
Right. So
You know.
it's like a built-in togetherness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It remind me of the 70s or something like that. You know, here, you know, out here, like,
Yeah,
because I study, you know, I like to go into the music, and you
yeah,
say
yeah,
you had to like the Marvin Gaye, then you had the
yeah,
Aretha Franklin's, and like compared to now through my life journey, it's like, man, I want to get some of that back. Like some
yeah,
of the stuff that I was raised up on from my mom, it was more, my mom's and pops was more like that same thing.
yeah.
But it's interesting to me that way you put it, because you coming from,
Hmm.
you know, a brother from the other, you know,
Hmm.
from the motherland, the other side of the world. But it's
Yeah,
like you said, it's a different way of expression, but the same pain.
exactly. You know, we all heal in a different way. You know,
Uh,
that's how my experience was. But I have to honor all healing. It's just a healing. But I mean, I think for me, what was the greatest in that time I was growing up, the president of Senegal was Senghor. And Senghor was a very interesting dude. He
mm-hmm.
was about wherever we're going, make sure to mix the race and get educated. Art and creativity, that's the only things will get you out of this mess.
What really?
Yeah, Sangor was one of the most influential black person, and he was like in Europe when they make the dictionary.
Mm-hmm.
He was the only black cat was part of it. The French
Ah,
dictionary. That's how intelligent this man was.
okay.
So the interesting things about this cat, he was a um, he was a Catholic,
Mm-hmm.
and he was running a country was over 70% of Muslim. He was married to a white woman.
Okay.
You see, his discourse was
So he had
totally
a
different. So that was really for me, listening to those things growing up. I didn't get caught up in the complex. The white people, they were there.
uh-huh.
Let's capitalize on those sucker.
Ah,
Let's take as much education they have to bring. let's learn quick from them, and then just to, amp it up, whatever it's like, a literature, art, creativity, and just mix the people. I think that's how my parents was all mixed up inside that.
Oh, okay, right. So it's like just like a culture of
Yeah,
kind of creativity, like letting things flow.
yeah,
Man, that's
yeah.
I was thinking about something like that. I was talking to another of my friends, and I was
Mm-hmm.
talking about our relationships in terms of money and basically energy.
Mm-hmm.
So currency, you know.
Mm.
So they had you heard the phrase, just go with the flow.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So I
yeah.
was thinking like, okay, how do they call money currency,
Uh-huh.
and then like the way you describing that is like, it's that simple. Like it's not too complicated. Just kind of go with the flow.
Yeah,
Just be in the currency
there you go.
of what things gonna come to you.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go. I mean, I think that's a very good aptitude to have,
Right.
because yeah, you're on a mission, and then
Right.
you are in the flow. You're not thinking about being in the flow.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. If you're lucky.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
No,
That's,
because it's hard to do that though.
Mhm. Oh no, for sure. I mean, sometimes it's so generic when people say, "Yeah, man, go with the flow." Well, how did I go with the flow? Did anybody show me what is
Right.
the? What
Right.
is first? You gotta be inside these things who move.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
when you're not in touch, these things is moving too fast. I mean, where is the current? Where is the flow?
Right. What is the flow?
Yeah,
Like,
what is the flow?
what should I be going with again?
There you go,
Right.
Any same thing, like people would tell you, oh, just let it go. Nobody ever told me how to let go. It's a process. People don't talk about that.
Right.
Show me the process, and then I would eventually wait it out if I'm letting this shit go.
Right. Right. The process of letting it go. Right.
Yeah.
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 No, that's real.
So
That's real.
that was my experience back in Dakar. I really loved that environment, but I had to step out. I
Okay.
had to get out to, you want to know. You always think it's green on the other side. So we all hustling, trying to get out that, because it's so limited and a lot of stuff.
So when you decided to move, how was that process?
Oh, it was creative. You got to figure it out because you don't have a lot of resource. So
Right.
my things was, I was about 19,
Okay.
and then I decided, I got to get out of these things quick, because I mean, I'm gonna end up in some big problem.
Yeah.
So my vision was to go to Europe.
Okay.
Yeah. So how to get to Europe if you don't have the paper to be there? That's gonna be another challenge.
Uh-huh.
So I dig into my dad's paper because he was in the French army.
Okay.
And then I dig all of this paper. I pull them out. I went to the French embassy. I was young, with no direction.
Right.
When I get to the embassy, there was this big white French guy coming, totally trying to dominate me. And I was high like a kite,
Okay. Right.
So
Like,
that way,
move under the kite.
yeah. So you don't have, your fear is in control, right?
Uh-huh.
Because, I kind of look at the guy, he came, so what do you need? What are you doing here? With who are you? I say, hi. Completely deflect him,
Right.
I have some things and I need to take care of. What are those things? Completely try to dominate me, man. So I grabbed my cool. The buzz was working pretty good.
Right.
So then the guy started warming up to me. He saw there is a courage here. So I said, this is the situation. I'm trying to dig into my dad's paper, and I think I have the right to have this paper.
You had to kind of smooth them out.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, he came with too much force. I had to hit him where he was. I would get him off balance because I'm young. I'm just trying to seize my opportunity. Man, don't threaten me.
Right.
But
Right.
I don't have to. I keep my car to myself. So the guy said, okay, I'm going to go on the lunch. You can come back tomorrow. Or, I said, no, have a good lunch. I'm sitting here. I'm going to wait for you. So I sit there, grew much taller when the guy came back, but then he was much cooler. So he helped me. I didn't have any authority to help me sort out to this paper. He saw something good in me and he kind of helped me out. So I get those paper. It took me about 2 or 3 months. And I distributed that to all my family, my brother and sister. Now they all have a
Oh,
paper.
word?
Yeah,
that's fresh, man. That's fresh right there, man.
Even they
Shout out to the smooth.
Oh yeah, man. They didn't believe me. They said, like, you're never gonna get these things right. I said, yeah, let me hit these things again.
Right.
And then now I give it to them. I say, now I gotta bounce. So that's how I get to Europe, So now I have the paper, I know that culture, and so that's where my next journey went.
Yeah. So you went from Dakar to France, because you were speaking.
Yeah, the language there, the French. When we go to school in Senegal, everything is in French.
Oh, okay.
And then with my parents still today, my family, we speak Wolof, which is the dialect that we speak there.
Okay.
So
that's three off top. Wolof.
Yeah.
English and French.
In French, yeah.
What was your first?
It was Wolof, because with my family, that's the language that we speak
that's what
there.
you was born off of.
Yeah.
Right.
So when we go to school and everything, because it's a French colony, everything is embedded into that. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of interesting. Now you're getting off from the ghetto, man, to living 2 blocks from the Arc de Triomphe. You see, like, there's that big rock that they have in Paris, like that big circle.
Yeah.
I get off the ghetto to live 2 blocks away.
Right.
It's a totally different reality. Totally different reality.
Right.
Totally.
19.
It's like I arrive here now. Where did I go? So, and then from there, I had one really dark time. It was like being inside of this tornado. Yeah, I was I get into some very complex shit.
Oh, word?
Yeah. It is all this culture. It's really cool there, but I was dealing with a lot of complex and then me.
Right, okay. No, I definitely feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. So it wasn't like the French hood took you over. It was just like
I was just like trying to sort it out so I get into some very complex addiction, and that took me very into some crazy place, but I went through it, so I'm sober. I don't have to so it was a transformation was needed to happen. But I learned a lot. So
when you went to the French, how long did you stay there?
Oh, I stay in Paris about 11 years. I bounced in a different place. I went to London. I went to Belgium. But Paris, I was really hooked in Paris. The city. Yeah, I can take you to Paris with my eyes closed anywhere.
Wow,
oh, yeah.
Real?
Yeah. So, I liked it, that intensity, and I never thought I would be able to get out of there. You really embedded inside of this shit, and then learn a lot doing art there, and then from little bit, my addiction gets so high, and a guy came in and said, yo man, there is something cool about you want a job? I said, yeah. So I was looking for a job in this agency where they were hiring people.
Okay.
So I walked in there. So what kind of job? I don't know what I'm doing. I just need some money, The guy say, but I'm an artist. He said, oh, cool. Can you make me a poster like this? I say, I can make better than this.
Right.
So he hired me right in the spot. Yeah, so he gave me a place upstairs and to make some, some poster for the place. It's an unemployment kind of association where people go look. So I started making posters and all of that. So the guy started seeing a lot of good creativity stuff that I had. He said, man, so I'm going to send you another place. I said, okay, cool. So he happened to send me to one of the biggest agency of commercial art in Paris.
Wow.
Yeah. He said, go see my friend, and then he'll be waiting for you. So I bounce over there. Now the trip started getting much more speedy. I get over there, and then what happened? It was next to the Louvre. The Louvre, which is one of the biggest museums on the planet, or the French museum. It was next door to that. I said, what am I doing in this neighborhood? This is like, I'm totally out of place. So I climb up there, went over there. This agency was about 300 people was working in there. Intense. So they hire me, they hook me up with all the good stuff, and then I learned with them. I didn't like it, but that was the safest place for me to get my shit together.
Okay.
But
okay.
I would learn about all kinds of different things, how commercial art work, and television, all kinds of stuff. And then in the evening I will go back to my hood, make art, and then so that was a nice savior for me. It kind of helped me to alter all of this complex and I was dealing with addiction, moving a lot of dope and shit like that.
Right. Different stuff. Like different
you gotta be on your best behavior.
Yeah, I mean you gotta at least have some focus to, like you said, keep that spiritual drive.
Yeah.
Because it is a lot of distractions.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, for me, art now today, looking back and looking into it, it's my medicine. Art always had been my rescue. And spiritually, physically, emotionally, creatively, the way that I make my living, it's all that, So it kind of had a lot of healing effect. Like you're saying, if
right.
It's for sure. Because you have to remember, growing back in Senegal, art doesn't have any economic was attached to it, doesn't have any status or static or grandiosity. That's what you do to exist in that environment. The way you make your food, the way you make your bed, the way you organize your environment, how to exist there. It's all creative constantly. So it's like you making, you delivering an art form and you're not conscious of it. So that's why one time you ask me when I give you my class what vernacular mean. That's what that meant.
Okay.
So it's kind of interesting. So I just was able to take it to a lot of different level and a different environment with this type of approach.
Right, where you live in the art.
Yeah. You're not thinking here, I'm gonna make like art. You already in it.
Right, you already living it.
There you go.
Yeah.
So now it's how you embrace that, to order to make it valuable. You know, and then people would come and support you for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So what you think? Speaking of valuable, what do you make? What do you think makes good art?
One, it's quality. The other one, it's sincerity. Yeah. The other one has to leave a sense of wonder. The other one have to have a little mysticism to it.
The mysticism to
it. The other one has to be, for me, to enhance the quality of my intelligence, all intelligence. Spiritual intelligence, emotional intelligence, intelligence of intelligence. I mean, for me, when I look at art or the work that I do, if those catalysts are not there, I don't see the work.
You don't see it?
No, it has to trigger something in you, to take it further to another generation, to another place. Then doesn't have a depth to it. For me, there is something, you cannot make this shit up being authentic.
Right.
Everybody's caught up talking about being authentic. So it's like a drive you're trying to get. You're already in it.
Yeah.
So you don't have to check with yourself about it.
Right. You can't create authentic.
There you go.
Already.
Either you have it or you have to find where you're going to go get it inside of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's what makes these things create this magic. I mean, it's kind of interesting how people always tell you, art, it's it's in the eyes of the beholder. I mean, it's like that
Right.
shit is kind of ancient, man,
Right. Right. It's in the eye of the
because
beholder.
obviously this is not good.
Right.
But we don't, like you say, we don't want to hurt people's feeling.
Yeah.
We don't want to be the true. If it's not true, that then you just keep it in this level of like
A certain box of what people think.
yeah. So
Mm.
it's that, I mean, you probably see that in the music. You listen to a lot of stuff who comes and bombard you, and it's like, who's putting this shit on the
Right.
radio?
Like, why is this the dope? You know what I'm saying? Like, supposed to be. But,
Yeah, but that's another things. But and then people say, oh, everybody have the whatever that is. But I think so that's I answer your question about it. For me, it has to be something visceral. The counterfact of that, it's like it's gonna take time to find your audience, the people would support you, the people would understand that.
Right.
If you can withstand that tornado for a little bit, because it's tough.
Which is
You're not gonna
necessary.
be, you're not gonna be popular overnight, but the things is you're doing something real, and that will catch on with humanity. I believe so.
Yeah, have that lasting effect, have that that's something that can really resonate with the spirit.
Yes, that's it.
Resonate
I
with
think
the
so,
spirit.
like you say that, and I believe those things, they don't go to waste.
Yeah.
They don't, So yeah, so I think, and what for you, what makes a good art?
For me, what makes a good art is just pulling people out of their own idea and into a world of what they think they can do.
Nice. Yeah.
Opens you up to a whole nother idea
Yeah.
of what you think you can do as an individual.
Exactly. And then also, like, hearing say that, it reconfirm the what I was sharing with you earlier. It has to come from an essentiality of something real.
Right.
I mean, most people that we admire today and the music and our choices, if you tune them to them, you find there is a connection of realness to it, and that's what's visceral. Trying to be an Hendrix because you're just wearing the costume, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, no, that don't stick, man.
So trying to be a Tupac because it has to have this visceral element, and that's what it's connected with your spirit. Either you're fighting with it, either you like it or you don't like it. But that's with the seed who creates something. It's like, man, did you hear this?
Right.
Or you come to see a piece of art. Man, did you see this stuff?
Right.
You cannot explain it. It just hits you.
You can't explain it. The energy of it is like so tremendous.
Yeah.
I was talking to one of my friends. She was like, yo, I'm thinking about getting a tattoo. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I had
yeah.
never thought about that before, but
Yeah.
she had always been into colors.
Oh,
And she just started expressing like how colors have different energies.
No, and then how you compose that if you're listening to that part of yourself. Because those color you're talking about, they're all stacked up inside of us, which is the color of the chakras, different color, purple, red, yellow, all
Right,
that.
different temperatures.
Yeah. So those things, they talking to you consciously or not.
Right.
That you just in it. It's like, why did I like this? Not versus. And sometimes you can find things is a very simple, but there is some this element of realness. It's not pre-contrived. There's no technicality to it.
Right.
It's not academic.
Yeah.
It's like just like this is what I do.
Yeah.
That's it.
This is just the flow.
You just decide to draw a dog with 3 legs. It's fine to me.
Right.
But no, they have to have 4 legs. Well,
right.
This dog doesn't have it.
Right.
But
right.
I love this dog.
Yeah. Right?
So that's where all of this other genre of work start coming, because being a self-taught, you have to be able to really embed it, that part of yourself who create this type of work. It's not it's not academic. It's just that's your heart and that's what you do. And then you have to find the way to embrace that.
The way to embrace it, right?
Yeah,
When you think about traveling, it's different. It's so many different vibes.
for sure.
It's different vibes. Like you talked about the chord, then you had to adjust to the vibe of that Frenchman at the airport.
Yeah.
And then like you had to take a certain route. Then going to even France, and now even here like on the art to art tip.
For sure.
Visual art and then language.
Yeah.
What I'm getting to is like, how do you relate visual language and speaking? Like, is there a certain type of correlation there? And who does your art speak to?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. You know, for me, it's the people who have this broad, open idea. You know, and their curiosity, it's heightened.
Okay.
They want to know, and I think so. And also, it's a particular art. It's highly collected when it's in the right place. You know, so then you start touching variety of different level there. You know, I mean, I see a lot of when I do some exhibit, young kids go to my work, they look at it, they feel at home there. The parents is always like, oh, this is too intense, let's keep going. The kids say, no, I want to be here, you know, because they relate to it, you know. So it's an inner dialogue, I think, they having with what they encounter. It's not filtered to them. So that's why they approach it that way. And then also people who value the work that I do, they know this is something, it comes from another place. Let me honor that. I will support these things. I will put this value on it because this is something special.
Okay.
You know? So when it comes to this form, like you were asking, part of the question, you know, art is just taking something in and create another language with it. Some people understand the language, some people don't. It's like the same thing.
Wow, yeah.
You know, with color, with movement, with creativity, with some people understand that.
Yeah,
you don't have
I
to
like
explain that's when you try to explain it, you're gonna mess up your opportunity.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, no, that's beautiful, man, because it's like you create another thing. Some people get it.
Yeah.
And some people don't.
Yeah.
Some people may get it later.
Eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at all the biggest people who, you know, we value the most, you know, had been to this struggle, all of them, from Mandela to Hendrix to Miles, all of those people. What they were putting, the world was like, oh man, you guys out of your focus, you guys are crazy.
Right. You crazy, right?
You know?
What is this stuff?
So, thanks God, there were few people who get it and harvest those things, and then today they you know, we have to thank them.
Right. Definitely,
You know?
definitely an honorable blessing.
So they were understanding a dialogue. Then in my time, I was not able to understand, or other people's understanding. You know, so
yeah, and brave enough to
yeah,
put that out from the straight up.
Yeah.
From the
So
straight up. Yeah, so I mean, like this another good question that actually this from my nephew T John, because I talked to him, I was like, yeah, he was a cool brother I know.
yeah,
You know, so shout out T John. What up though, nephew?
yeah.
He I was like, if you wanted to ask him a question, you know what I'm saying? Because he is a tremendous writer, and we've been building
really?
on stuff like that. And he was saying like, if you could go to, I told him how well traveled you were and stuff like that. If you could go to like any place or the place that have you been, what's your favorite or place that you want to go to create some of those legendary things?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's so much choices, but I will pick something where I am not comfortable. Because in your discomfort, you will find a lot of aspects of yourself totally untapped. So I will give you this example to when I came here. I tell you, I hated English. I was going to school. I would find a way to fight with the English teacher. But the universe grabbed me and threw me right in the middle of New York City.
Wow.
And
What?
I was like, I gotta learn this language now.
Right, because they talking fast.
Oh man, it was like all of this moving parts, all of this stuff. I had to sort it out to it, you know. So I was totally off my comfort zone, and that's another encounterment. Then I was able to add to it because what's his name?
Tijan.
Tijan, yeah. So the things is, this is already formed. It's already cured, and then him. You know, you know, now you take this culture and then you go to a place where you're gonna feel uncomfortable for a little bit. The amount of creativity will come out of you will blow your mind. But usually that's the last things then people want to do.
Right, that we want to do, get out that comfort zone.
Yeah,
right. But it's so valuable when you do.
Yeah, for sure, because there is a lot of untap unless you know you go you find a tour guy will bring all of these things. And
right.
You go in safari, you're in this car. Well, I went to safari. No, it's just like go inside the culture, trying to figure what the universe had brought you here for.
Yeah, for real. So that's what makes a good artist too, man. That attitude, man.
Yeah.
Like, just that bravery, right?
Yeah, because I mean, sometimes I think I'm brave, but you know, I'm not that brave.
Right.
But I think I have to know my limitation.
Yeah,
but I don't. Yeah, I don't want to comfort and fear drive me because it's just like you know, if you want to strike those places and then yourself, you have that's the only way. I mean, so when I came here, I had to rely to the language, right? I start learning how to do gesture. I start to really trying to explain to someone, you know, I want to go gesture, you know, where is this, you know, you got to start throwing few words and telling them, okay, where is the bathroom? I don't know what is the bathroom was. Okay. Bathroom, I got to distinguish bathroom and bedroom, you know, all of those things. I didn't know them.
Okay.
So it brings another level of connection.
Wow, right.
It brings another different intelligences in the game. And it definitely trigger your creativity.
Right.
You know?
Wow, that's amazing, man.
Yeah, so.
Like, so you didn't really know ink, man.
Oh, no. I mean, before I wouldn't know yes or no. And then I started learning sit down and get up. And then I was thrown in the mouth of, you know, the dragon. What happened, it's, I was looking for a job. I need to make some buck. I end up to this place, this head shop place. The guy has all this stuff from different continents and different places. I like this place. I went to see the owner, and the guy was so mean. He was just like, he was so mean, man. It was crazy. I said, yo, man, you know, I want a job. He said, yeah. You want a job? Yeah, I can hire you. I said, but wait. I don't speak English. He said, well, you're not gonna need it. I said, okay, this guy is giving me a, so he gave me a job. It was a chaos there. So that was the best language classes than I had. So because we were dealing with a lot of stuff in that store. I mean, it was a 30 years old store with all kinds of stuff. It was a pipe, it was a smoking shit and stuff like that.
Right.
So I was dealing with all of these crazy people was coming, you know, and they would come, hey man, you have like condom? I say, oh no, we don't have condom here. Motherfucker, the condom is behind you.
Right.
Things like that.
Yeah, so know? All types of stuff coming at you. Yeah,
so I would pretend, then I mean, I don't know. So the guy say, man, you lying, this hookah is right behind you.
Right.
So that's a hookah.
Right.
Okay, we
sort
have
it out.
Right. You know, so that's how, you know, you're using another layer of intelligence, you know. And that was the cat who taught me a lot. He taught me a lot. And that was the one when after my first day working with him, he's the one who told me, you know, Michel, you're never gonna speak English because you don't speak loud enough.
Oh, word.
And I always remember that. So, you know, so that's synergy. And then I was being myself. I was able to contribute to what he has to offer because I was world traveler with a lot of stuff he was interested of.
Right.
You know, we were selling a lot of things from Africa, from India, from the 60s, from the hippie movement, creativity, self screen, all of that. You know, so and he also teach me how to, you know, to sell your stuff, how, you know, how to hustle.
Gotta hustle, right?
Yeah.
Out there in New York, right?
So then I kind of add something to it, and that kind of worked out pretty good for me.
Put it together.
Yeah.
Dang, that's what's up. That's
So to go back to what I was saying, you know, the self has to be a little bit in a discourse, you know, for you to really know, you know, what your psyche has for you waiting.
what can be discovered from
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Real. You got to dig a little bit.
Yeah.
To get
It's not going to be easy, but, you
situations.
know, it's just going to be, yeah. I mean, that's what I would suggest, you know.
Yeah.
An adventure that slowly, because what you're going to encounter, it's pretty much the real stuff, you know.
Right. I mean, things that's gonna be thrown at you.
Yeah.
You got fastball, curveballs,
Yeah.
all types of different language. Like
Yeah.
people not even believing you.
Exactly. So, you know, because for me, looking back, right, if I had stayed inside my culture with my folks, with my people, I would never probably be able to do the work I do. I needed to be away from that, my identity. I know who I am.
Right.
My culture.
Right.
I know who I am. I needed to be away, so then I didn't today had to kind of, you know, reminisce an identity of self. So I had to go to get this culture, go to another one, see how I exist there. That's something, it's personal. Now you got a dialogue from there to create the work that you do.
Right.
You know, and then in my work, there's no an expression of identity, of politic, of color, of like, now you fluid. When you're fluid, then you touch more of what this whole globe is about.
So it's no, like, what part of you is in your art?
My soul.
Right, I mean,
You know, because that's
just your experience, your soul, right? Like what you think, man. Soul, right?
Because you know, Silk, the things is all of these things they transitioning, and you are here.
It's ever evolving.
Yeah, it will change from these political things. It will change from this type of genre, this type of you know, aesthetic. But now, if you try to go behind all of these things, you look at the self, you will never know who you are in relation to these things.
Right.
You know?
Right.
5 minutes, I'm fighting the white people. 5 minutes, I'm fighting the black people. 5 minutes, I'm fighting the politic. And 5 minutes, and that's 5 minutes, I'm in history. I mean, where the hell you going? You know? Yeah. So if you look at the people who have created great work, their mission was there to just tap, to get to know the soul, the spirit, and how now they can articulate it, convey it. I mean, if you look into, you know, Bob, that's what he did.
Into
Bob Marley.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Everything he did, you know, today you can listen it and has a relationship of some things, but you don't know where it's at.
Right.
That's when you kick some ass.
That's truly when you kick some ass right there. And it never dies like that, but it's still those same struggles from back then. Yeah. In Jamaica. I'm just gonna do the most click, get up, stand up. Yeah. Me and my sister used to think I had remixed it.
Oh, that's nice.
Before I started, I was just like, get up, bust up.
Oh, there you go.
Bust up, that's like a slang term for just leave. Like,
Like,
all right, man, I'm about to bust up. I'm out of the door. You know what I'm saying? So,
that's a good one.
Like, you
know, that understanding, you know, opens something inside of you.
Right.
Well, where this guy went get it, he get it here.
Right.
He get it here. But how he did that? Well, he was attentive.
blessed and pay attention to the blessings too.
Yeah.
Right.
So, when you create like I'm moving too fast because I enjoy sharing things
No,
with
that's
people, and I
love.
just, when I first encountered this experience, and I was telling you in Senegal, it was a small colony of 3 artists. And those three, one of them will become a really close friend. This guy he was a stage artist, he was a philosopher, he was highly educated, he was everything. Then I was like, Phew. When we become very close, and I asked Lai, I say, yo, man, I paint, right? He said, really? Yeah, yeah, come by. So away from this little environment that I used to meet them, I went to his home, and then with my little booklet, I was all looking for some gratification and all of that. I think the only things comment me and him had was probably to smoke dope. That was it. So I went there, I brought some weed, and then I said, like, yo, check out my sketchbook. Silk, this guy opened this little booklet, look at it, and close it, throw that shit back at me.
What?
He said, Michel, this is terrible. This is bad. This is bad. So can we smoke these joints?
Right.
I said, oh my God. Now, as this buzz was going on in my head, I was like, what just happened here? I thought this guy was my friend. I was young,
Right.
And then I left the ghetto. I was all confused. 6 months later, I bump into him in the market.
Okay.
I say, Lai, I have some other stuff I've been working on. I would like to show it to you. He said, yeah, come by. We went to the same place.
Right.
Did the same thing. I opened this booklet. I show it to him. He did the same thing. Flip a couple page, close it, throw that back at me. He said, this is it, Michel. This is it. If you continue to do this type of work for the rest of your life, you will have something to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Let's speed it up. I left that ghetto place. I was more confused because I didn't know what he meant. Looking back now, so what happened, that was the work who came more sincerely, more easy, more authentic. There was no identification of religion, of race, of politics, of nothing. That was me having a conversation with my own heart. That's what he meant by that, and it was true.
Right. Just raw, just
Yeah. Do you?
raw you. Right.
Yeah.
Man, okay.
Yeah. So that was an interesting spiritual awakening for me.
Right. Spiritual awakening. That's the beauty of art, man. Spiritual awakening. Then you could put something out there like that. People, like you had that experience that from creating it, and then people like get that same. They might get on that vibe where they might even get more from it.
Yeah.
Like that's wild about art. That you could do that. Do you have like some favorite artists? I mean, of course, I'm sure you got
A
some
favorite.
influence.
I mean, for me, like I tell you earlier, the only masterpiece I ever saw who really would probably never leave me is those three cats, that I met. They were inside of this culture, right? Totally outsider, totally visionary. They didn't care about what the French colony want or what the people wanted. They were getting and making art straightly from their culture, from their sense of spirituality, their sense of wonder. They were creating art silk, with nothing. Just sitting here with this mic, we pass it and we create a scene and then that's it. And he moved on. It was just fast paced like that.
Right.
That's when I first thought, this is what I want. How I'm gonna do that? So I follow those cats like a dog. They never tell me my work was good or my work was bad. They always was warm, welcome. Hey, go buy me some cigarette. Can you go get me these things? I will go. But that colony was something really powerful. Then I stumbled in totally unconsciously. And those things, I kind of carry them with me every day.
Right.
Yeah, the system was really trying to dismount them because they were very highly in a different
Yeah, that's what you was telling me about the story where they had they was doing their stuff, and the government even tried to come down.
Yeah, and take a bulldozer, 5 in the morning, wipe the whole place, destroy all the work. But you know, they dust up, they get up, they move to another place, they build the same thing.
Keep going, keeping on. Huh?
So for me, I think, you know, if I think, I mean, I like the essentiality of, like, you know, answering your question. Gary J. Marshall, I like the
Gary
way,
J. Marshall.
Yeah, he's from Chicago. If I say his name right, I think the way that he exists as an artist and what he does, you know, and he's into his own things. This is his reality, how he's going to tap into it, compose this really intricate work, and then making it very quality.
Okay.
High level, and he's been consistent. That's inspiring to me, you know. But yeah, I mean, I'm not big in looking at work and trying to figure what the master does and this and that, because I don't relate. I relate with silk. I'm talking to you right now. This I relate. I relate with this table, this microphone.
Okay.
You know.
Now I feel that.
Yeah,
right.
for you.
Your experience in
Yeah,
stuff.
you're telling me about some kind of Van Gogh. I don't know how that is.
Right.
About some few flower. I don't relate to it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna sit there for 2 hours, pretend that I know what I'm looking at.
Yeah, but those artists that you know from when you was coming up that was doing their stuff, you was inspired by that. So yeah, that's like a different. I know what you mean. Yeah. I totally, because even with music, like I haven't been like a whole fanboy of artists.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm just relating to what you're saying, man. That's beautiful.
That's pretty cool though, because I mean, for you, you know, it's limitless. You know,
right, yeah,
and until you interrupt that,
Right,
everybody has a trajectory. You know, there will be only one Miles Davis, one Jimi Hendrix, one Picasso, one whatever that is. Can I find mine?
Yeah.
And if he doesn't work out, at least I find mine.
Yeah.
You know, I find same for you, you know, and all of this synergy of different interests that you have.
Right.
You're gonna find yours.
Yeah,
and then if you find the people who value that, who support you with that, that's, to me, it's success.
Word. That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Like, success. That's the full money of success. Just finding you.
Yeah, that's it.
That's real,
you know,
brother.
because when we leave this earth, right, we cannot take all of this shit with us.
Right.
We cannot take all of this fame and all of these things that we had to our work. We will take these experience. You know.
Yeah.
When they set you on fire, burn you.
Right.
At least you will have a little space for this experience.
Right.
You know, doesn't matter how big your casket is, depend to what your preference is.
Right.
You're not gonna be able, or you know.
Nah, you can't take
all
away
of this paperwork and this. You're gonna take just like an experience, this experience.
Right.
That's and then what create that.
What created that, the chemistry, the memory, there you
go.
The connected dot, the faith, the confidence, all of these things that art really helps us do, man.
Yeah,
it helps us.
No, it's not a gimmick things, you know, and also it's not fast pace, gratification. You know, we all want this really fast pace, you know, get paid now, get big now.
Instant.
This instant gratification. Those things, they die really quick, and another one comes because we never have enough.
Right.
That's just the way it is.
Right.
You know? Yeah, I want to have these things. I'm going to have that. I'm going to have this. In the process of that, what you realize, it's you losing yourself even further down.
Chasing this stuff outside.
Yeah. It's like you ever see a dog spin trying to get his tail?
Right.
He will go this way, but he never thought to go the other way too, right?
Right, man.
Spinning. And then he get dizzy, then he took off, and then crazy shit. But anyway, that's my perspective, man.
No, that's real, man. So I'm as we wind down to the end of the show or whatever, man. It's been, man. We could talk for probably like Man, you're right. We could
Yeah.
keep going,
Oh
but
no,
I'm
we in the
glad you were here
same
to
boat.
share your story with the people because I know everybody gonna be inspired by it because I'm already inspired,
Oh,
man.
that's cool.
That's
That's
what's
cool.
up, and getting to know you
Yeah.
even more than we already talked. What keeps you pushing?
Oh man, I think I really like getting to know the deeper self. What is my purpose here? And then so also those are the question. What my soul asking of me.
Mm,
You know,
yeah.
and that's not something I can answer overnight. I gotta get up because I think so, right now a lot of things are shifting in my career. I just move into this building, but but the things that the driving force, just take your time. Just take your time. You want to regroup, you regroup, you get up to work, you hit it hard, you come back, you chill, you have another tea, have a little smoke,
Right.
eat well, go for a long walk, exercise, and try to be kind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
be kind. Because you never know what's gonna hit you next. Either
Yeah.
you're gonna need someone else, or they're gonna need you. So how someone can get close to you if you're not kind, right?
Right. Right. Real
It's
stuff.
like, yeah, man, this guy just fell from the elevator. Oh, fuck him.
Right. Look out for
you
some.
know
Yeah. Look out. Keep
yeah,
looking.
to kind of pray, to be attentive, try to be genuine with everybody, because that's how these things, you smooth your stone. you know we all sometime, I feel, we all fell from this volcano, right, with all of this fragmentation of stone, right? All the stones are all sharp and edgy. But it's interesting, if you look at the evolution of time, how rock becomes smooth. They rub against each other, they flip, the wave move them, they smooth all of those edges.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Same type of thing.
you know
That's what that is.
you smooth their edges. I used to be very mad, someone cut me off, or I used to be really mad because I was not patient. Hey man, we get to know each other just by the elevator.
Right.
I had to wait, so I learned to kind of smooth that edginess of me. But then you create a very strong essentiality of the stone. It is yours. Harvest it, hold it.
Right.
Keep it
Solid.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Solid. Right.
Yeah. So that's that, Silk.
That's good, man.
I hope I didn't mess up all your questions.
No, bro. Like these questions are just safety nets
Yeah,
for
that's cool.
just if I. But usually,
Uh-huh.
I do have like a certain ones like the one T. John sent in. But man, yeah, your story. You just telling your story, and this
Cool.
we already had a couple vibes that we caught, so we already knew. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So no, this is great, man.
Yeah, I do better, to just whatever spirit tell me, comes. It's much more. But it's cool though to be sharing something you're passionate about, and then yeah.
That's right.
It's
Michelle, thanks for
Thank you, Sid.
thanks for
Yeah, man.
being on the show,
Yeah.
man, and sharing, man. So
Thank you.
just truly, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just
Yeah.
artistically, truly, all of the good stuff we need out there. This is what we need. You know, this is why we do the show, y'all.
Yeah.
Art to art. Y'all leave a comment if y'all got some questions for Michelle, or we gonna probably maybe get some pictures of art, or maybe follow up with something or something like that.
Yeah.
Because we out here grinding with the spirituality and the art and creativity. Thank y'all for joining in.
Yeah, if the people around, come to our open art studio.
Oh yeah.
It's on the 21st. This building is open, so you get to see a lot of variety of different creativity, and then see the work we do.
Word, see the work we do third Friday.
Yeah.
Gonna have your stuff on display too.
Yeah.
And so y'all join in, tap in, say what up though.
Yeah, man.
And let's keep the creativity flowing.
That's
Much
true.
love, y'all.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace, man. This is nice. Thank you, man.
No doubt.
Yeah. So we
Yes,
probably
sir.
went too far, but
Nah, that's perfect, man. We went with the flow.